Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 12th chapter, verse number 32. Maitreya is explaining creation as Brahma engaged in this, and he talked about the birth of his sons after Lord Shiva's creation. He explained the 10 sons born from the 10 different parts of his body, and then he spoke of the 11th son as Kardama, and he did not talk about his daughter taking birth. He only taught that he was allured, or he was attracted to his daughter. He didn't mention when was she born. He only said that he said from the mouth the watch was born. Vak is another name for Saraswati.
So the daughter was Saraswati?
Well, he says Vak means speech, Saraswati. Unless there is some other name. But here, speech, Vak is another name for Saraswati. So then the sons headed by Marichi, they were not in approval of this act, and therefore they stopped him and tried to rectify him and said, this is not appropriate for you. It will not bring you good fame, and it will not bring welfare to the people in general, because it will set a wrong example. Then in this particular verse they are praying to the Lord that ultimately it is Lord who can help. Because when mind is polluted by this lust, it is very difficult to control the mind. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava Mahasano Mahapapma Vidhyena Mihavarana. So this is a great enemy, and it is Mahasana, it is a big glutton. It's never satisfied. The word Kama is used in general for any desire, but specifically desire for union with opposite sex is most captivating and powerful, polluting to the mind. And so once it comes in the mind, it's very difficult then to keep control. So therefore only Lord can help. So for that reason they are praying, Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Yaidam Svena Rochisha Atmastam Vanjayamasa Sadharmam Patum Arhati. Says we pray to the Lord who has manifested this world by his prowess while being situated in his own self. Only he deserves to protect the religion Dharma, because he is the Dharma Setu, he is the source, he is the protector of Dharma, and he has the power to protect Dharma. So therefore they are praying to the Lord, because he is called Rishikesh, or the master of the senses, and it is he who has the potency to control the senses. So mind is also the controller of the senses, but mind itself is in trouble, then what can he do? Then Lord only is the shelter. Therefore they are saying Tasmai Namo Bhagavate. That Tasmai signifies that very famous or well-known person, Bhagavan. So all we can do is pray to him ultimately. because we are helpless in this world, and if our senses are not in control, then we can ask for His grace, for His blessing. He can do whatever He likes to do, and especially if this is against the principle of dharma, then specifically we pray to Him. So that is the significance of their prayer. एवं प्रबोधितोऽपि ब्रह्मा यदा न प्राबुध्यत तदा भगवत कृपां विना कामः प्रकारान्तरेण नोपशम्येत इति सिद्धान्तम् अनुस्मृत्य ते मुनियो भगवन्तम् एव प्रापद्यन्ते. So when Brahma was warned like this and still he did not heed the advice, then they remembered that without the grace of the Lord, this karma cannot be satisfied. So that's why Lord is also called Kamadev, or He is the master. So then they are just surrendering to Him. There's nothing else which can be done except taking shelter of the Supreme Person, because He is responsible ultimately for protecting dharma. So He is the one who has created, and they say that Atmastham Ganjayamasa, that it is Lord who has manifested this world. So it is also His responsibility to maintain the principle of dharma in this world. Saitam grunatah putran puro drishtva prajapatin prajapati patistanvam tatyaje viriditastада tam disho jagrihu ghoram niharam yadvidustama. So when Prajapati, actually the master of all the Prajapatis, Prajapati Pati, that is Brahma, he saw that his sons were also Prajapati. They were speaking like this in front of him. Then he felt ashamed that, look, my sons are speaking like this to me. It is very shameful. And out of shame, then he gave up his body. So this body is very useless, so I discard it. And when he discarded that body, then what happened? That the directions, they took it. And when they took this, then that became fog. So therefore this is called fog. Fog is the sinful body of Brahma, which he gave up. What do you say about that? Niharam yad vidustama. So that is called Nihar, and this is darkness. And it is taken by the directions. So tanvam tanum tatyajati. So he gave up the body. What does it mean? He says mahapatkasya prana antam eva prayashchittam mukhyam iti gyatvanas. Says one who is a mahapataka, means greatly sinful. There are various activities which are called pataka, or very sinful, and then there are mahapatakas, which are very, very sinful. So he says if one engages in mahapataka, then the only atonement for that is giving up life. prananta. So this is indicated by this verse. So the significance that he gave up the body. Now, what do you mean by he gave up the body? Because if you give up the body, then where are you? If you gave up the body, then you are also finished. But Brahma gave up the body and he is still there. So some kind of magic he did. If I give up my body, then I don't know where I go. I have to get another body. Then how do you get another body? So he says, Dviparardha Madhye Tasya Tanu Tyaga Asambhavat. It is impossible that Brahma can give up his body in between this period of Parardha, 2 Parardhas. Because his lifespan is 100 years. First 50 year is called Parardha, and then second 50 year is called another Parardha. Parardha means half of Para. His complete lifespan is called Para. So, how can he give up his body? He cannot die before 100 years. In our case, we can die. We can meet an accident, we can die. Even if Jyotish has predicted your lifespan something, you can still die by accident. So there is Akal Mrityu, dying accidentally or untimely. You can also get disease and die earlier, although our body is designed to be sustained for a certain period of time. So that is not the case with Brahma. His lifespan is fixed. He cannot die before that. He cannot extend it also. We may be able to extend our lifespan by the blessings or by leading a pious life. By performing pious deeds, you increase your lifespan. By engaging in sinful deeds, we decrease our lifespan. So we can do something to our life. There are examples of that in the history. But Brahma's lifespan is completely fixed. Cannot change it by 5 minutes this or that way. He is born 100 years, exactly 100 years. Then there is bell rings, he is gone. So therefore, what does it mean that he gave up his body? He says this is the meaning, is that he just gave up his bhav. He disassociated with that body in which he got this feeling of attraction towards his daughter. So that means basically he gave up that lustful thought and came back to his original state of engaging in devotion service to the Lord, performing the act of creation. That is the meaning. That he completely cleaned his mind of that idea. He realized that it is wrong, it is a mistake, and why it happened. So that is gone. And Disha iti taiva tamsa adya avriyante. So then this fog is something mysterious, and this body is fog. And it says that even till today the directions, they become covered by this fog. So stay away from the fog.
Is actual physical fog meant here, or is it just
And that is the word niharam.
not knowing or something? Real.
The word here is niharam. What is he saying?
Well, he says darkness.
It is darkness. So basically darkness. That darkness is the cause of ignorance or material desire. When there is enlightenment, then it doesn't happen. Means that darkness is there all around. Directions taking it means that all around there is ignorance. So we have to protect ourselves from that ignorance. It is all pervading phenomenon. So then the next few verses are now just describing what all he created. Now he comes back. There was little deviation in between for a short period. Then he's back to his business. कदाचित् ध्यायते स्रष्टुर्वेदा आसंस चतुर्मुखात् कथं शक्ष्यामि हम लोकान् संवेतान् यथा पुरा. So he was sitting down and he was thinking, how will I create? And when he was thinking, then the four Vedas appeared from his four mouth. Dhyayata Srashtur Veda Asan Chaturmukha. He has four mouths, four heads, and the Vedas came out from that. And his idea was that how can I create as it was before? So commentator says that तेजयसाम न दोषाय वन्य सर्वभुजो यथा इत्यादि वचनात् स्वकन्यानुगामिनो अपि ब्रह्मणो मालिन्यं नाशंकनीयम् इति वक्तुं ब्रह्मणस्तेजस्वित्वम् आह. Says that those who are powerful people, for them, even if they seem to be doing something wrong, it is not considered as defect in them. Just as fire can eat anything, which means you can put anything in fire, it does not pollute it. Fire always remains pure. Or sun, you put anything into the sun, clean it. So that's what fire is, a big purifier. So that is the nature of powerful people. So all the Brahma, he was attracted to his own daughter. This is not the case that his mind was polluted. We should not doubt like that. And to show that, now Brahma's prowess is being described. That how great, how powerful he is. So he says, Kadachit ityadina nana shakti upabringitam iti antena. Now there is a description beginning from this verse 34 and it will go up to this verse beginning Nana Shakti Ubrinitana. It's up to 48. So from 34 to 48 verse there is a description of creation of so many things will come out from Brahma's body. It's like he is opening up a storehouse. Things were all packed inside and he starts taking them out and spreading in the world. Like you pack things in your room and you travel for a long time. When you come back, you open the trunks, spread them out. So like that, as if everything was packed inside his body. And he is bringing them out now. So that is being described. यथासन इति वेदेषु सृष्टि प्रकार सर्वैव वर्तते इति तद्दृष्ट्या सुखेन सृज इति भगवद आज्ञावशात् इति भाव. So yathasan means everything is there, and Lord has ordered Brahma that you create with ease, without much discomfort. It will not be very hard for you to do it, because things are already existing. That is being signified. So now the description what all came out. Chaturhotram karmatantram upaveda nayai saha dharmasya padaschattvara tathaiva ashram vrittaya. So there the Chaturhotra, the different activities of the four Ritvik. When the sacrifice is performed, and there are four priests, one each related with one Veda. There is one priest related with Rig Veda, one Yajur, Sam, and one Atharva, so four. And actually they have assistants, so therefore is there 16, team of 16 people which works together. So that is called Chaturhotram Karmatantram. And there are four Upavedas, they also came out. Then there are four Naya, four type of knowledge. Then Dharma, along with its 4 feet, there are 4 legs of Dharma. Yes. Truthfulness, charity, cleanliness, and austerity. These 4 things. And Tathaiva Ashram Vritte. And there are 4 ashramas: Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. And they have their duties, respective duties, which are also 4 types. So all these appeared from Brahma. Hota, Udgata, Advaryu, Brahma iti Chaturnam, Hotranam, Karma, Chaturhotram. So Chaturhotra refers to, there is a Hota, Udgata, Advaryu and Brahma. And the priest which is related with Rig Veda is called Hota, which is related with Samveda is called Udgata. The one which is related with Yajurveda is called Adhvaryu, and one related with Atharvan is called Brahma. So their activities are called Chaturhotra. So Brahma is the one who supervises everything. Udgata is chanting. Adhvaryu is the one who is pouring into the fire. And Hota is getting material. Karmatantram Yajna Vistara. The various divisions and parts of sacrifice. Upavedair Nayesh Chasaya. And along with that, the 4 Upavedas also came out. Ayurveda, Gandharva Veda, Dhanurveda, Sthapatya Veda. These 4 Vedas also appeared. Because simply doing sacrifice is not enough. You have to also survive. If you fall sick, there is Ayurveda. If you want to fight, and Dhanurveda. You want to sing, Gandharva. You want to build house, Sthapatya. Architect.
What was the name for the architecture?
Sthapatya. In South India, their architects are called Sthapatis. They all design these temples, still exist. They're called Sthapati. Ashramas tad vrittayascha asana. Then there are ashramas and there are viktis. So then he asked a question. Vidara uvacha savai visvasrijamesho vedadin mukhato srijat yat yad yena srijat devas tanme bruhi tapodhana. He said that, oh, said Maitreya, whose very wealth is penance, please speak to me how the master of the creators, he created different Vedas from the different mouth. So from which mouth which Veda came? Please inform me that. So Maitreya then explains, Maitreya Vacha Vigyaju Sam Atharvakhyan Vedan Purvadibhir Mukhaihi Shastram Ijyam Stuti Stomam Praschittam Vedhat Kramat. So he said that from the east mouth came Rig Veda, from the southern mouth came Yajur Veda, from the western mouth came Sam Veda, and from the northern mouth came Atharva Veda. Only thing is that how will you decide which one is east and which one is west? How do you decide?
That depends on the sunrise.
But where is the sun? He is above the sun. He is sitting on top of this. And sun may not be created yet.
Yes. Then
So which one is east and which one is west?
The direction they were existing already.
But how do you know which direction is which? They are existing. You only know the directions through the sun. Without sun you cannot figure out. Unless you have compass. So east means the front. Brahma is sitting, he has four heads. So he has his front side. That is the east. And then the right side, that is the southern side. And the back is the west. And the left is the right.
Yes. This is experience.
So this is what it means, the four directions. So no matter how he stands,
Right, he's
front is east, Sri Purva, and back is west.
well, that's then like in Archana, wherever the deity looks, that is east, considered east.
There is some saying, ex oriente lux, from the east comes the sun. But sun also means from the east comes knowledge. That statement is in the west. So Vedas are knowledge. No?
Yes. But they are coming from every direction. They came from all four directions. And then came Shastram, Ijyam, Stuti, Stomam, Prayashittam. These are the four activities which are also related with the four Vedas, which also appeared. So Mukto Mukhebhya Chaturhotrasya Srishtimaha. So from the mouth, the description of Chaturhotra, the four actions which he said before, are being described here. Shastram Pragitam Mantra Stotram Hotram Hotu Karma. So this word Shastram, which literally of course Shastra we think of some weapon, but here Shastram is a technical word and it is some stotra called Apragita Mantra Stotra, and this is recited by Hota which is the priest related with Rig Veda. Hotram Hotu Karma. This defines the action of Hota. And Ijyam Advaryoho Karma. And Ijya is the duty of Advari, which is related with Yajurveda. And Stuti Stomam, Stuti, singing, Sangeetam, Stotram, Stomam, Tadarth, Viksamdayam, Trivrit Stomam, Bhavati. Ityadi Vihitam Udgatu Karma. This is the job of Udgata, the priest related with Samveda. So Samveda actually is nothing new, but it is only the mantras from Rig Veda, arranged in a different manner. So therefore we say Rig Samdayam Trivrit Stom. Samveda is as Rig Veda mantra only, but it's designed, placed in a way that you can sing it nicely, poetically. And then Prashchittam Brahmana Karma. And Prashchitta is the Brahma's karma. If there is, when you are doing sacrifice, then some mistake can happen. And if there is a mistake in the sacrifice, then you will not get the benefit. So it has to be rectified. So therefore, Brahma, he sits and he only watches. He is the supervisor, that nothing goes wrong. So he has to know everything. He has to know the duty of Hota, he has to know the duty of Advari, he has to know the duty of Udgata, he has to know that they are chanting properly, the material, everything. So that's why he is called Brahma. And if some mistake is done, then there is Prashchit. So it is under his control. He is like that conductor in the orchestra. Directing. Because it's a big action to do these sacrifices. And everything has to be coordinated. They have to be performed in a particular order. How you have to get the mud from somewhere, you have to take horse or you have to take a donkey, and how many steps, and at each step you have to chant mantra. In the front step like this, in the back step like this. And if you fall down, then what will happen? You can slip and fall down. All these types of things are like complicated procedures. Then he says Ayurvedam, Dhanurvedam, Gandharvam, Vedam, Atmanah, Sthapatyam cha Srijadvedam, Kamat Purvari Bhir Mukhaihi. So then these four Upavedas, those were the Chaturhotra. Then the Upavedas. Ayurveda came from Rig Veda. Now according to Bhagavatam, Ayurveda comes from Rig Veda. But there is another opinion that Ayurveda comes from Atharva Veda. I think that's what Charak Samhita says, that Ayurveda comes from Atharva Veda. Because in Atharva Veda there is mention of herbs and medicines and mantra and tantra. Atharva Veda is full of that. But at least in Bhagavatam's opinion, Ayurveda comes from Rig Veda. But I will say that it came in the same order. Then Dhanurveda is coming from Yajurveda, and Gandharveda comes from Samveda, and Sthapatya Veda from Atharva Veda. So these four were created. Upavedanam Srishti Maha Ayuriti Sthapatyam Sthapatahe Karma Vishwakarma Shastra. So Sthapatya is the Shastra of Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma Puja in India they do. Vishwakarma is the architect, engineer. So they do this puja in Kartik time. They were doing it here near this Gautam did. So that is puja they do in factories also. All the workers. Then after 4 Vedas and 4 Upavedas came the Puranas. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedam Ishvaraha Sarvebhya Vaprebhya Sasvijaya Sarva Darshanaha. Then came Itihas and Purana. So Itihas and Puran, they also were created by Brahma. And they are called the 5th Veda. They are also authoritative like the Veda. It's not that only Vedas are authoritative, but Itihas and Purana are also authoritative. And therefore they are called 5th Veda. And these were created from all 4 mouths. So after the Vedas, Upavedas were created, then from all the mouths of Brahma came the Puranas and Itihasa. It's such a huge thing. So the remaining material came here. And Brahma is called here as Sarva Darshana. He knows everything. Sarvebhya iti Sarva Veda Vivarana Rupatvat Tesham. So why it came from all the 4 mouths? Because Itihas Purana is giving the knowledge of the Vedas in a simple manner. Vedas cannot be understood without the help of Itihas and Purana. To understand Itihasa Purana, one should study, to understand the Vedas, one should study Itihasas, which means Mahabharata mainly, and the 18 Puranas. Then you can understand. Because Itihas Puranabhyam Vedam Samudrinyet, stated in the Upanishad that with the help of Itihas and Purana, one should try to consolidate the Vedas. Means the meaning of the Vedas should be consolidated with the help of Itihas and Purana. So this is the significant importance of Mahabharata. All the stories which are being told there, they are related with the Vedic mantras. So this is the reason that it is called 5th Veda. Mahabharata is also called 5th Veda. And here both, because Itihasa has 2 parts, Mahabharata and Ramayana. These 2 books are called Itihasa and then 18 Puranas. Then comes the sacrifices. Sodasyuktau purvaptrat purushagnistatavataha aptor yamati ratrau cha vajapeyam sabhosavam. There are these sacrifices which were popular in the olden days. I don't think that people know anything about them now, maybe few people. But these are just the names remaining. And these are called Sodasi and Ukta, Chain and Agnistoma, Aptoryama, Apiratra, Vajpayee and Gosava. These are the 8 sacrifices. 2 each from one mouth. So from the east mouth, front mouth came Sodasi and Ukta. Chayan and Agnistom from the southern side, and Aptoryama and Atiratra from the western mouth, and then Vajpaya and Gosala. You see this name Vajpayee, like Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So why he has this name Vajpayee means maybe forefathers they were doing Vajpaya sacrifice, some type of sacrifice. So when they came, Karma Tantra Srishti Maha, this is the Karma Tantra which was described in verse number 35. Shodashi Uktaviti Puri Shi Chainam Agnistut Agnistoma Etau Dakshina Vatrat Iti Evam Krama Sarvatra Drashtana. So he is explaining that there is an order that Shodasha Mukti came from one, and then next one was Purishi and Agnistuta, and then Aptoyama and Atiratra and Vajpayee and Gosala. Then next was Dharma. So there are 4 legs of Dharma: Vidya, Danam, Tapa, Satyam, Dharma, Sveti, Padani cha. Ashrama se yatha sankhyam Ashriyat saha vritti. So he created Vidya, Dan, Tapa and Satya. So there is Satya, Tapa, Dan, and instead of Shaucha there is Vidya. Right?
He says purity, knowledge, charity, penance, and truth.
Purity also?
For charity, in brackets, mercy.
Daya.
Knowledge, in brackets, purity. Charity, in brackets, mercy. Penance and truth are said
Yeah,
to
because
be.
previously it was mentioned that 4 legs are purity, mercy, daya, Sauch, daya, tapa and satya, penance and truthfulness. So here penance and truthfulness are there, but then instead of Saucha there is Vidya, and instead of daya there is dan. Because if you mercifully give charity, and purity is there only if there is knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that there is nothing more purified as knowledge. So Shaucham Kshetragyasya Ishvara Jnana Vishuddhi Paramamata. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says that why Vidya is called Shaucha, why knowledge is considered as purity. He says there is no question of purity if one does not have knowledge of the difference between body, soul and Ishvara. Kshetragyasya Ishvara Jnana Vishuddhi Paramamata. When a living being gets knowledge of Ishvara, then that is real purification. Otherwise, there is no purification. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. Krishna says that there is nothing more pure than transcendental knowledge. So that's why knowledge is purity. And danam daya. Danam charity means daya. Why? Bhut abhaya pradhanasya kalam narhanti shodasham iti vachanat. He says that if you cannot give the charity of fearlessness, then There is no other charity than this. It says all other charities, they are not even 1/16th part of the charity of making someone free from fear. So therefore charity is also considered as that. Because making someone free from fear is being gracious and merciful. Tapah shaucham daya satyam iti pada krite krita iti pratham skandhokter avirodha. So therefore he says that there is no contradiction from the first canto where it was said that these four are the legs of dharma: austerity, cleanliness, and mercy, truthfulness. So these four which are stated here, vidya, dhanam, tapa, satyam, dharmasya iti padanacha, they are also same. Then there are ashramas, four ashrama: brahmacharya, vanprastha, grastha, vanprastha, sannyas. And then there are vrittis of those four ashrama, their duties related how one has to. So there are four for the brahmachari, four for the householder, four for the vanprastha, and four for the grihastha. So they will be described in the next verse that we will read tomorrow.
Everything is so well designed and systematic. And there is a sequence of how the things has to be manifested. So I'm wondering, asking if this Itihasa and Purana, they came by last. First, all the first four Veda, they were being spoken, and then this Itihasa and Purana are the last one.
Because they give the explanation.
So they explain
So
about
explanation will come later. And what is to be explained comes before.
But in that sense, they are more important because without explanation, you cannot even understand about it.
Yeah, of course, both are important.
And about all this type of different sacrifice and all the 16 people chanting differently. So there are also different goals and whatever achievement according to
Yeah, there are different purposes for them,
different purposes.
different occasions.
What does it really mean, chanting mantras without intonation?
Because when you chant, you can chant with tone. There are three of them. This is
That's
called Uddat.
that's called
Swarupa.
chanting without intonation.
No, there are three tones when you are chanting.
Yeah.
There is high, medium, and low. So without intonation means without name.
Just one continuous monotonous.
Like when we are talking, this is
Mm.
without intonation. We are not raising our pitch up and down.
Only in Vedic time they use that.
Okay.
How one can be free of fear of death?
Fear of death, by knowing that you cannot die.
And the soul is not like that.
Yeah.
But this has to be realized.
Yes.
When it is realized?
When you realize yourself that you are not this body,
At the time.
then you cannot fear death because you know that you will never die. Fear is there because we are
Identify with the body.
we identify with the body and body will die. But if we realize that I'm not the body, then I don't die. And there is no fear.
Mm.
So about this karma, which is so strong and is manifest in the mind, and only the Lord can help to get rid of this impulse and whatever it is. So, what is the purpose behind it, and why the Lord has designed it so strong? I mean, that only He can really manage, not all the other creatures, like even Brahma couldn't really, even Shiva, as far as I know, he was also.
So because he is the ultimate master, he is the ultimate controller of every energy.
And then he only can, so this is also for sure that he is the only one who can really control. All the other entities, they are superior.
So when it says that from Brahma's eastern mouth the Rig Veda came from this southern mouth Yajur Veda and so on, and then it is the different priests are described in activities. So how does that manifest? It's just it gives instruction to different persons, or
Who?
Brahma.
Yeah, he must have given this knowledge.
So he just spoke it into the ether, or
He spoke to
here it
his,
is, whoever wants it, or
he trained his sons.
so right from the beginning, there
Taught.
was a group who were like for the Atharva Veda, a group who were the ones for the Yajur Veda,
Yes.
and there were the
Well,
four
there may be
different
groups of
priests.
or
the
there may be
Udgata.
people who know all of them. But there are also people who knew 4 Vedas. So they have to study each one.
So that's kind of a subdivision of Brahminical caste.
Yes.
So somebody can be exclusively an Udgata or a
Yeah.
Brahma, or amazing.
Yeah, somebody can be an expert in Atharvaveda, somebody in Samveda. Like Jaiminins, the expert in Samaveda, in Vasampayana.
And is that still alive today? I mean, it's still.
So finished.
Which Veda is the most important?
The original.
Which Veda is most important?
Can we put such question?
I don't think so.
Because sometimes we hear the Rig Veda is the first Veda and the most important.
That
Most used.
I don't know. I mean, from which point you are saying it's most important? For what reason? Let's say it is oldest because here also it came from first mouth. So it came first. That doesn't mean that it is most important.
It's mundane opinion.
No, they must have some reason why it is most important. For their reason it may be most important. But for our reason maybe not. Krishna says Veda Nam Sam Veda Vasana. Among the Vedas I am Sam Veda. So he is considering Sam Veda as superior among the Vedas.
So the Vedas were passed on orally,
Yes.
generation after generation. And historians have had big problems to determine when it was written down. Is there any evidence in the Shastra when the writing started? Was it Vyasadeva who actually wrote it down, or he also kept speaking it only?
I think he also spoke. Writing must have happened much later.
But he did write the Bhagavatam, or was that also spoken? It was also spoken.
At least Mahabharata, they say that he dictated it to Ganesh and he wrote it down.
But there was the speaking process before writing down, yes? It's correct? So it means from mouth to ear, no writing. 5,000 years ago, they say the writing
Yeah, there was
started.
no writing.
Was not writing.
Maybe they are all sloka meant to be memorized, right? Is it like a song that you have to memorize and that you cannot be changed?
So that means the Brahma priest had to know all the mantras,
Yeah.
everything by heart.
Yes. And they were not carrying books with them. This by heart.
For them,
It's just incredible.
Yeah, people had such memory.
superior, clean.
Before Kali Yuga, it is said that the remembrance was much stronger than after Kali Yuga.
After Kali Yuga, in the Kali Yuga.
Already in the beginning of Kali Yuga.
I cannot even remember what I eat this morning.
Now, for example, that Maharaj Janamejaya did that snake sacrifice to kill all the snakes, which actually worked. He used Vedic mantras,
Yeah.
and all these priests, they knew how to do this.
Yeah, of course.
This is just incredible. So there must have been so many different kinds of sacrifices for different purposes. Because people did everything by a yagya, isn't it?
Yeah, you perform yajna, there are mantras, and you can put your
Your
specific
specific
thing in it. It's like you have a what you call standard,
procedure, and then you
and
add.
you can add what you want.
To fulfill any type of desire.
And then there are specific sacrifices for specific desires are also there.
So then in the fourth canto, when Daksha did the sacrifice and it was polluted and interrupted by the followers of Shiva, what are their names? Nandishvara and his followers. They eventually reinstalled everything and purified everything.
But probably that's when Tantra was propagated, because they would not be interested in doing this sacrifice. And Tantra came as what you call option.
That was the moment when Tantra was invented.
I think so.
Invented that.
From where came Tantra?
So Tantra came from Shiva.
From Shiva.
Yeah.
Tantras.
Yeah, all the Tantras are spoken by Shiva.
That's very interesting.
The Shivas are the Tantras.
The Guru of Tantras.
Is also prominent in our time. At least.
So
Officially.
as Veda was like emanated from the mouth of Brahma, Tantra emanated from the mouth of Shiva, like that.
Yeah.
That's right. Does he have, in his tantric, whatever, in his propagation of Tantra, have a similar pattern as the Vedas, or is it
It's different. Of course, there are
is it
also
more, or is it just
also
a
Tantra or Agama literature which is spoken by Lord Vishnu. Vaishnava Tantra is like Haisir's Pancharatra, Nag Pancharatra. They are also considered as Tantra literature.
What actually mean the word Tantra?
Tantra means discipline, Shastra.
Discipline.
Means any set of knowledge is called Tantra.
Somehow I was associate the word Tantra with something hopeful, something like system, which is the
Tantra also means discipline. Like we have Swatantra, Paratantra. Swatantra means independent, means I am control. My Swa means self, and Tantra means control. Paratantra means par means other, and Tantra control by other. So when you are ruled by somebody, you are Paratantra. When you become free, you are Swatantra. So that is also the word Tantra.
But with some procedure of Tantra, you can control somebody.
That is different. So the meaning of the word Tantra, I am saying.
Tantra means womb, yeah?
Tantra means
In Germany, Webstuhl. What is in English? Fast.
Tantra.
Yeah, Webstuhl.
Never heard this.
Yeah?
What is it? Webstuhl?
I think in English is womb.
Wool?
No, wool.
Wool.
What means Webstuhl in English?
It is okay. Yes, I know what he means.